Hi, everybody. This is day 915 days since Richard vanished from the barracks there at Fort Bliss in El Paso, Texas. Just want to make sure that I am streaming on here. Days since Richard went missing from the. Let me see. Okay, I hope that's working. I hope that gets put on there. Because I want to be able to answer your questions. Yep, it's on there. Okay. So, um, day 915. Day 915, and things seem to be getting a little shaken up in Washington. Um, Richard just didn't disappear, something happened. And the setting up of all of that has taken place over a long period of time to many, many of our service members. This has been going on for a long time. The corruption, the taking over our 44 four-star beautiful uniforms and filling them with sellouts, traitors, criminals, cold-blooded monsters, demons, accomplices, um, I guess, um, people that have no backbone, people that have no character, uh, because that's what we have in our 44 four-star generals and admirals. They're sellouts, they're traitors, they're criminals. They've absolutely committed crimes against humanity. So you have to understand that. And let me see my microphone. I forgot to get my microphone. Can you hear me better now? Because I want everyone to be able to hear me really well when I go over this over and over again, that our 44 four-star generals and admirals is where we are supposed to look. When it comes to what is going wrong, what has gone wrong, how can we um, get our country back, we need to be focusing our eyes, our investigations, our audits, our accountability, our oversight, everything. At the 44, we have 44 four-star billets. That means we have 44 four-star generals and admirals. And they have everything at their fingertips. They have our entire military, our fleets, our submarines, our tanks, our stealth bombers, trillions of dollars, and of course, our volunteer sons and daughters, the most valuable asset, like Sergeant Major of the Army Grinston said. And I put out a little meme today. Grinston, I was looking up that. It's, a stoner. And grin means anger, like gritting your teeth like this in anger. Grinstone. Grinstone. He is no good. He's up to no good. He's just an NCO. Um, then I looked up McConville. Mick means son of a leader, a big leader, right? Son of a big leader. So that con, of course, a deceiver. So son of deception. Son of deceptionville means many people. So he is the son of a leader of deception over many people. He's deceiving many people. McConville. And then I was thinking of Warmouth. And I looked up Warmouth. And it was doomsday, y'all. It was talking about doomsday. Doomsday worm. Yeah. Doomsday worm mouth. Doomsday worm mouth. Yeah. I think that that really clarifies, how and without any defense, no country can survive. Y'all look at what's going on in our military. It was the DOD that developed the plans, the op ords, the whole thing for a long time, especially since 2013, and to ruin our country, to ruin our military. The DOD, the Pentagon is the one that spends our dime to ruin us, to ruin our service members, our volunteer sons and daughters. They're the ones that are failing the audits. 5 audits failed. I think another audit just failed. And we're talking about trillions of dollars. Trillions. And nobody is held accountable. Nobody's held accountable. And what happens the day after it comes out? 9/11. Let's go into Afghanistan. Let's go into Iraq. Let's maim, kill. Let's poke toxins into our people. And then when Richard joined, you see, they have an obligation to care for our service members. They have an obligation, a legal obligation. You can say they have a moral obligation too, but do demons have moral obligations? I don't know. They have no moral backbone. They don't care. And you see that what the military is doing is rubbing off on some of our representatives. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. Look at Graham. He's like a demon too. He's such a demon. All he wants to do is go to war. I mean, they get the taste of those contracts, you see, the wealth of those contracts. And that's why they hate Robert E. Lee, because Robert E. Lee told everybody that it's a shame war is so because men like it. Men like it. They like the money that it generates. They like the destruction of it. Yeah. So this is a moral hazard. So Richard, when he went missing, and we were not contacted, and we couldn't even put in a missing persons complaint report to get help anywhere. It became very clear just at the beginning that something was fishy, okay? That they would kick him out because we were starting to learn about Vanessa Guillen, right? And they cover all of that up so well. They cover Enrique Roman Martinez up so well. They cover, why is he in? The bell tolls on that one. The bell tolls on cover up. Did you hear the word cover up? Absolutely. When all that happened, we knew. And then when they brought us back, when they brought Richard back on the rolls, and we are Richard Halliday, to help look for him, it was just so clear that something was wrong, because they asked us to find the leads, and we knew it was up to us. We knew it was going to be up to us. So we went back and forth to Mexico, to Juarez, and I will tell you, at the very beginning, I had heard so many rumors that I was a little hesitant to go over to Juarez. And then I just prayed and I said, okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's go over there. And if I'm going to do it, I'm going to give my all. And I think Sammy will tell you that every time we went over there, I gave my all. I wasn't afraid to go out into the traffic to give the prayer candles. I was not afraid to walk up to anybody. And I knew some of them were cartel. I knew some of them knew things about Richard. I knew they knew that this was all an FBI setup. I knew that our government was involved in all of this. It was quite clear by the response of our State Department. It was quite clear the response of the FBI. It was quite clear the response of the CID and the Mexican. You have to understand, we had a contact there from the Mexican authorities, the Mexican police, and I believe that our first contact that we had there, um, I think he had a conscience. I think he wanted to help us again, and they stopped him because he had texted Rob and said that he would do a search, he would help us. And the next day, the CID called and said, "Oh, that was a hack. That really wasn't from him. That was a hack." Um, he never said that. And we're like, what? What? They controlled what was going on. They used military operations against us. Clearly, they used asymmetric warfare tactics against us. Clearly, they set up FBI informants within Find Richard Halliday. Clearly, all of this. This is all high crimes, y'all. Very high crimes. But did you know that FBI informants are allowed to commit crimes? And so, yeah, they're allowed to commit crimes. I know I set up some pictures that I wanted to, let's see. Oh, yeah. Um, Let me see. I'm going to share the screen here uh, because we knew something was wrong because they were putting out terrible narratives about Richard instead of screaming out all the good things that he did. Now, you might say, "Oh, you're just his mother. You're just trying to protect him. You're just trying to, um, you know, be on his side." Absolutely. Yes, 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 yes to all of that. But also, I taught the classical method of education: grammar, logic, rhetoric, debate. Grammar, logic, rhetoric, debate. And it was logical that if you're going to try to find a missing soldier, you would say, "Oh my gosh, our distinguished honor graduate for basic training in AIT for his cycle is missing. We've got to find him," because that would inspire people to really help and to really come forward, you see. But they didn't do that. So it was fishy to me. They didn't use Richard's strengths as leverage to help find him. And that was strange to me because logically, from grammar to logic to rhetoric to debate, you would absolutely take whatever leverage you could to get the job done, to find your missing soldier. And that's not what happened. So we were starting to we set up a hotline, and we were starting to get some calls on that hotline. Of course, ransom calls fake ransom calls. And then also, as we found more leads, because like I said, it was very clear that we would have to do the investigation. We would have to find the leads because something was very fishy, and they were not really. Uh, they weren't very helpful. they weren't. They weren't very helpful. There was too many infiltrators. You see, there was too much control. There was too much sabotage going on, and so then we started to get phone calls, not phone calls, but messages left on our hotline phone number that were to intimidate us, to scare us away, to harass us psychologically. Some of the people even bragged that they could destroy a person just by talking to them psychologically and everything like that. That's how they were trained. And of course, we have found out now that the Department of Defense, there at the Pentagon, one of their most, I think it's the largest program that they have, is PSYOPs, right? How can we control the narrative? How can we make people do things the way we want them to do without even shooting a bullet. Um, or showing any kind of weapon. The weapon is the psychological manipulation of people's thoughts to get them to do what they want them to do. And so that was clearly what these phone messages were meant to do, and even messages on different groups. And, anyway, thank God that I had some training in that. And, I just tried to let it wash over me like duck's feathers, right? Like duck's feathers. So, I wanted to show you what they should have posted up. They should have posted up Richard's. I have here. Let's see if I can do this. Display capture. There we go. Here. Okay. Oh, okay. So here is Richard's drill sergeant. Yeah. So this talks all about him, and I contacted him, and he refused to talk to me. He did talk to my dad at Richard's graduation, and they were, because Richard wanted, with Richard there, Richard and this drill sergeant, and also my dad and my mom, and they were like, oh, talking about all the things that Richard could do, that he could aspire to, going green to gold because he had college credits. He clipped out of 6 math credits when he was college credits for college math at the age of 15. So, and also he had clipped out of German credits, 6 German credits at the same time. So he had college started, and he was going to clip out some more and go green to gold. That was a path that he wanted to go on to because he wanted to be a CID special agent. So they talked about this there at Fort Sill. This is the program of his basic training graduation. The 434th Field Artillery Brigade, Fort Sill, Oklahoma. I wonder who was there, right? Who was the general commanding this at the time? Who was the command sergeant major there at the time? You should look that up. It's very interesting. It was the 6th of July, 2018. He was class 3918, and he was, you'll see here, Distinguished Honor Graduate. The Distinguished Honor Graduate is a soldier who, through performance and evaluation by the drill sergeants, is rated as the best in the class. Private Halliday. Okay, Richard Halliday. There his name is, right there. So, yeah. Do you think that the news showed that the generals would put that forth? They didn't. They didn't do that. And I think that is, oops. I think that is really very telling that they didn't do that, because people would have rallied more. It would have inspired them more. And they know that because their business is psyops. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Their business is psyops. So, and I was just like, okay, they're using all this psyops on us, but they don't want to use the training that they have to do something good, something right, and that is to find the missing soldier, Richard Halliday, especially when the morale was so low because of Vanessa Guillen, because of Austin Hawk, because of Enrique Roman Martinez, because of Caleb Smither, because of Gregory Morales. Y'all, this was such an important time, 2020. The morale was so low Command Sergeant Major said they brought in girls during the COVID lockdown. And I was like, what? I need to go check that out in my mind. And I did. We did. And we have recorded, we have on record um, testimony that they absolutely were bringing girls during the COVID lockdown into the barracks to have parties. And I don't know what those girls were bringing in with them, because it's very common to have these girls as mules, okay? They are groomed to be mules. They're groomed to be sex objects. They're groomed for the sex industry. They don't even have a choice. They're groomed that way. They're pressured into that. And, it's just so sad. I just can't even imagine how Richard felt when he experienced all of that, because we raised him to think very highly of women, to think very highly of men and women, and to be respectful. That's why he was a distinguished honor graduate. And I think that was very, very important. And this Command Sergeant Major with Clem Coward, because Clem Coward had to have approved it. Clem Coward was his right-hand man. Clem Coward was a 2-star general, major general. And how, he's still in the last time I heard. I don't know. Maybe he just retired. I don't know. But he's up to no good. And what was the depth of his relationship in this, his participation in this case? Because he severely retaliated against Richard for nothing. For nothing. I'm telling you, it was nothing. When you think about the rapes that he overlooked, oh, just shut up, Asia. Just shut up. When you overlook rapes and you don't get to the bottom of something like that, and the sexual harassment, and you don't get those barracks ship shape, you let them be flush with weapons because they are marketplaces for illegal drugs. Anything. Asia Graham died of fentanyl-laced medication, y'all. She could get anything in those barracks. I don't know how many testimonies I have. It's a marketplace for illegal drugs. So what is Clem Coward doing? Why is he even there? He's supposed to be the general. He's supposed to get our military army ready. And yet it was, let me retaliate against the distinguished honor graduate for basic training in AIT because he is not happy that things are being done to children, and he is sexually. The officer in the court says it's child sex trafficking. With these porn videos. What's in these porn videos? Are there children in these porn videos? Because we've been told that that's what Richard turned in to the Child Protective Services to make that complaint over and above and outside the chain of command. That would be over and outside and above 2-star General Clem Coward, because Richard told me they're very bad. They're very bad. So Richard made these complaints, and we're told he turned in these porn videos. So this distinguished honor graduate is trying to help out some children, trying to help out a young mother, and Clem Coward is severely and continuously retaliating against him. What's going on here? It is, and let me tell you, with everything going on, you have shifty shift right now, and this has something to do with it. Being so bold, he's trying to tell, he's a Democrat, okay? And he was on the Intelligence Committee, and he used his position very badly, keeping information from the American people that would have settled things very quickly. I hope he's being investigated. But and what I'm saying is this is so risky, but it has to be said because you have this representative so bold um, that he's showing how corrupt things are because he's not Speaker of the House. Who is he to tell the Speaker of the House what to do? Who is he? He's nobody. And okay, he's a representative. But you know what? We have loads of Democrat representatives. I'm sure that the Democrats have other representatives that could sit on the Intelligence Committee besides Shifty Shift and Swalwell. I mean, come on. And to threaten, it's the same old game that we have been through with Richard's case. The threats, the psyops, the talking, the narrative that they twist and turn. It is just, they're very, very well trained on this narrative making to argue for their side, and leave out very, very important information that would absolutely change the mind of every American and say, well, these two need to be investigated. But and then the media being accomplices in this false witness narrative. So I've been watching very, very carefully, and it's the same standard operating procedure. I see what's going on in Washington, D.C., than what we have experienced in our son's case. And so it's standard operating procedure, the twisting, the turning, and it only could happen with corruption at the top. And what's the top? What's the top? Whoever is controlling the military. So we know that the 44 four-star generals and admirals are working for foreign and domestic enemies instead of defending the Constitution, because no way would true real generals, four-star generals and admirals allow our barracks to be marketplaces for illegal drugs. Okay, they would not stand for it if they were defending the Constitution. They would not stand for all of this sex cult stuff going on, okay, including the rapes and also the sexual harassment and these puppy plays, these LGBTQ puppy play in uniform. In uniform, that's what I'm talking about, because this colonel, part of this LGBTQ puppy play, really compromised. He just went too far, y'all. He went too far. Anybody that's part of a sex cult and child sex trafficking or a bestiality sex cult that brings that into uniform into our military installations, that brings that into our military buildings, such as the motor pool, the barracks, the workplace there, the gymnasium there. Those are our buildings, okay? Our buildings. We're the ones that have to pay back the dime. We're the ones that have to pay back the trillions. And these sex cult activists, it's like they are so bold in uniform to post up these pictures and this porn and everything like that. So what that tells you is that the level of corruption, the ideology is a foreign ideology. It's not a constitutional ideology. Therefore, you have to learn logic. If they are allowing things that weaken and put the national security of our country and our military at risk, and they are in charge of crimes against humanity, and they are not getting to the bottom of real crimes going on, like Austin Hawk, like Enrique Roman Martinez, like Richard Halliday, like Vanessa Guillen, like Caleb Smither, like Asia Graham, like there's so many. There's so many. Gregory Morales. There's so many. Elder Fernandez. Absolute grooming to suicide, grooming to rapes, grooming to sex cults, grooming to failure, grooming to um, alcoholism, racketeering. Pick it. It is really, really bad. And they thought that they could do like subpoena. This is another really important point. I hope you're listening. I hope the bell tolls, because when a law enforcement subpoenas at this moment, at this time, the last years, when they subpoena a person, they're looking for a crime. They're looking for a crime. And it is a witch hunt. It's a witch hunt. And that's what they did to Richard. Just like they were doing in Washington, D.C. Because I heard that Donald Trump's younger son, he was subpoenaed. He's like the prince of subpoenas. They subpoenaed him like 1,000 times or whatever, hundreds of times. Um, so Richard, I can't even imagine that, because I have a hard time imagining 80 subpoenas that Richard had to go under. Just about 80 subpoenas and warrants that he had to, that they were looking for something. That's not 10. That's not 5. That's not 10. That's not 20. That's not 40. That's not 50. That's not 60. That's not 70. That's not 75. That's not 76, 77, 78, 79. This is, this is enormous amount of witch hunting for a young soldier, right? And they know his whole life. So it is, it's crazy. They were looking for a crime. They didn't find anything. He came out squeaky clean. He's a yellow Interpol. Of course he's squeaky clean. Of course he is. It's laughable what they were trying to say about Richard. It's laughable. Yeah. Oh God. Eating candy in bed and putting the wrappers under the mattress or something. Okay. I got that one. Yeah, he's probably guilty of that one. But what they were saying is just crazy stuff, right? So, so he was a whistleblower, and I remember him telling me, "Mom, I can't go anywhere," because I would say, "Are you going somewhere? Are you taking care of yourself?" He goes, "I can't, because I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble. I'll get in trouble." I mean, these poor service members were so retaliated against. So, you know, this subpoena stuff, looking for a crime, being on a witch hunt, this is not the way to find a missing soldier, right? Once you find them, then you'll know so much more, and you can figure out, you can judge them then. But, and that's what I told them. You need to, you know, just find him first, and then you'll know. So, but they didn't want to find him because he was is exposing um, some major high crimes um, along that border, along the border of El Paso and Juarez, Mexico, El Paso, Texas, Sunland Park, New Mexico, which is all horse racing, lots of horse racing, and and we have uh, reports that they were using those horse trailers to do the children trafficking through there, through the Santa Teresa port of entry. And no one cares. No one cares about all of this because why? Why? Well, there's a big reason why. And Mitt Romney could tell us, because his dad was born in Mexico. His dad was born in Chihuahua, Mexico, right over the border, in a place called Colonial Juarez. and there is a Nouveau Casa. Oh, what did I messed it up now. And then also Colonial Dublin, and I hope I'm saying those right. Casa Grande, yeah, Nouveau Casa Grande. That whole area is Mormon stakes. They call them stakes, Mormon land, and it is plush. It is lush. It is beautiful. It is developed. They've been there 100 years. They have their temple there. They have a temple in Juarez, the city of Juarez. Um, they have a school there that is so beautiful that people from all over will send their children to board there, a boarding school. I believe it's a high school. It could be broader than that. It is lush. It is lush. And then they have ranches and farms, and it's so beautiful. And there's also a place called Little China that's right there. And so they go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. You know, he. Let me tell you, Mitt Romney and Rona, who really wants to be the chairperson for the Republican National Committee, she could tell us. She could be the hero in all of this, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, they could be the hero in all this. They could shed a lot of light on our son's case, and why don't they? Right? Why don't they? Because this is a missing soldier. This is a big deal. This is a very big deal. This is a missing soldier that's a whistleblower, and we're told by an officer of the court he's whistleblowing because of child sex trafficking. Now, y'all, that's a big deal. And then it gets even bigger. All of this corruption, right? All of this corruption. Now we're hearing the F have been totally compromised. And we're like, yes, we knew that because we had the father-in-law that said he was with the FBI say that the FBI had found Richard, and Richard, it's bad news, he's dead. Shh, shh, shh. And I showed that yesterday, I believe yesterday. And so it's very clear that, our question is the FBI hiding the remains of our son, right? Because we called the State Department there in the city of Juarez, Mexico, and asked, were the FBI looking for Richard in Mexico? We have it all on record, y'all, all on record. And so it's like, why doesn't, when we have everything on record about all of this crazy stuff, and that the FBI were indeed looking for Richard in Juarez, and then we have the father-in-law of Lieutenant Colonel Bugado in the G3 of the 32nd ADCOM saying that the FBI had found Richard and Richard's dead. Shh. Why is that a shh? Why is that a shh? And this is the G3, y'all. G3. If you're military, you understand what I'm saying. G3, the wedding planners. G3, the op-ord makers. They are the ones that write the op-ords. They're the ones. And so it's no wonder, with all of the corruption, that our generals need to be held accountable. They need to be investigated. They need to be audited because something is not right. And they have weaponized themselves and their power against our military, against, and I'm talking about our service members, against our entire military, even like the repair jobs, even the parts and everything. What are they selling? What are they doing? Why isn't our military ready? Why aren't they ready? They have had trillions of dollars. They have had everything, the staffs, everything. We have prayed for them. We have given them everything. Why aren't they ready? Why are the installations looking shabby? Come on, y'all. Why is the water in the military hospitals poisonous? Why, y'all? It's so crazy. There should be no excuses. We should be the best. We should be the healthiest. We should be the most just. We should have no crime. There should be no crime. And yet, it is just one big criminal cabal. So they need, why are we allowing them to wear our beautiful uniforms with 4 stars when they're going to turn our entire military, use everything that we've given them so badly, including our volunteer sons and daughters? It's no wonder that they are not answering the FOIA, that they are, because even Veronica Escobar is up to no good. Um, and I will include William Timmons in this, is up to no good. Up to no good. Not a patriot at all. Absolutely, they're all serving foreign and domestic enemies of this country. And it's just, they are breaking their oath. And does that matter? Does that matter? Why do they even take an oath if it doesn't matter? I think it's criminal to break your oath. It's totally criminal. So that's why I really don't want anyone to forget Richard. I had a video here, that I wanted to play. Let me do that real quick. Video capture. Oh, no, that's not it. Display. There it is. And I'm going to turn it on and play it. This is a TikTok that I made, and I think it's really important. Let me play it one more time because this is very, very important, and I'm hoping that you will share this. You can go on to TikTok and find it, and you can share it. Please share it. It's very important. Why is that important? Because if the leadership cared about young mothers, and even active duty young mothers, okay, and even active duty females, even males, the sex cult stuff, the whores and the blow, and the working on social media and on these programs as sex objects and everything while you are serving in the military, that is all being overlooked. It is a national security threat. It is ripe with blackmail. We have documents that are everywhere. These are classified documents. We know, it's not crazy to say they're being sold. Our secrets are being sold, used against us, blackmailed, auctioned to the highest bidder and highest level with these classified documents. Can you imagine if you are a young soldier, and they are grooming you to sell yourself, to sell out your country, to have no hope, no future, no aspiration, and just groom you for sex cults and for drugs and alcohol abuse and porn. If you support porn, you support child sex trafficking, because what happens in porn is adults that have been child sex trafficked. Okay, that is proven. I've looked into it ever since Kanye West, who is now known as Ye. Ever since Ye said that, I looked into it and I was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, because absolutely, porn is a result of child sex trafficking. They groom the children, they raise them up to be porn stars. And this is so clear. So if you support porn, watch porn, then you are supporting child sex trafficking. And so I just want to say that that little TikTok that I made, as Richard as a saint, um, that's where, it is almost shocking for us to see a saint, or Richard's face on a saint as a meme, rather than to hear about child sex trafficking through the border, to hear about the drug use in the barracks, to hear about the rapes going on, and being told to just shut up about it, the sexual harassment, the sex cults. People are so normatized by those awful things, but then when it comes to seeing a saint doing something right and good and standing up for something, um, that shakes their senses. It shakes their senses. We need to shake some senses. We need to get back to what is good and true and praiseworthy and noble and right and save our military so we can save our country, focus on our military, and then um, I'm praying that that's how we will find out what happened to Richard. But the bigger picture for many, for us, it's all about Richard. Of course it is. Um, but for many, it's a bigger picture. It is saving our service members from more continuous, severe retaliation, from the grooming, from just all the nasty stuff. And that, of course, is what leads to the DOD really leading, being the lead in crimes against humanity, especially in 2020 until now. It was them that used their funds to contract out CVS and Walgreens, the likes of them, to give the Cobra strikes the countermeasures. They call them the countermeasures that are untested, that are not safe and effective. And so this is where it's at. And I'm trying to focus everyone on where the real power is at. It's not with the representatives. It's not with the president. See, it's not with that. That's a sideshow. Of course, it's part of our government, but they can't even do oversight if they have no defense at all. And you saw that with Veronica Escobar. Okay, so um, I hope that you will download or even make your own videos, messages, put it on Twitter, put it on Truth Social, put it on Telegram, put it on Facebook, put it on Instagram, put it everywhere, everywhere. Getter, um, and I know YouTube, whatever, and focus on what's going on. And I think what is happening today in current events is all about Richard's case. It's about the border. It's about the human trafficking. It's about the narcotics trafficking. It's about our military. It's about all the corruption. It's about the FBI. Is the FBI hiding the remains of our son? Shh, shh. It is about just about everything. And so please write this to your congressman. Write this to your senator. Write the 4-star generals. Write them. Let them know that you are saying, because I just saw Grinston, a sergeant major of the Army, Grinston, with the others, the McConville and Warm, what is that? Doomsday Wormmouth, um, son of Deception, McConville, and and Grinstone, yeah, put out that they're trying to get people into the military, into the Army. They're not getting people into the Army, and they are willing to do whatever it takes. And this is listen, you heard this from me before. That's why they want those borders open. They want to bring in all of those migrants, and they will get them to join the military. And then we will have these poor migrants, and you can say what you want about them, okay? Uh, but you need to get, or, really the bigger picture. These people have been groomed to come up to our country. They have been bribed to come up to our country. They have been lied to come up to our country. And they've been given all this stuff to survive this brutal trip. They come in here and then they're going to be taken advantage of. They're going to be taken advantage of, and we cannot allow this, because they will be taken advantage of to go into the military, and they will serve a country that they are not familiar with. And they will be taken advantage of even worse than our volunteer sons and daughters that are serving right now. They will be abused worse than our sons and daughters that volunteer right now that know this country. And this is what I'm afraid of. This is my opinion. This is my logic training going. And they're desperate. They are desperate. And they're trying to let everyone know that they're desperate. And so then they'll put forth some other kind of law. And I hope that your representative will not let that happen to allow these migrants into the military. I hope they don't, because it's just setting up these poor migrants for worse than what our poor service members have had to suffer, which is really bad. So please help find Richard. If you know anything, call 941-677-0060. We have $150,000 for a chance at that. Anyway, for credible information leading to finding him. And I know a lot of you have very good ideas. We're working on so many things behind the scenes. Thank you. Keep reminding us. And we are going to get to it. We do not have this huge staff. Look, I'm the technician. I'm trying to learn how to do this, to try to reach out to people to keep Richard's case alive at 915 days. So this has been really a huge process. And I think we have everything. We just don't have someone, a law enforcement agent with the authority, with the moral compass to take this case and to get the Child Protective Service complaints answered, the porn videos answered, revealed to us, who is in that red box, and the field picture revealed to us. Who is that? Is it John Torgensen? John Torgensen, is that you in there? And because we suspect this person, right, that's in that box, we suspect this person of hurting Richard. And so that's why it's very important. So if John Torgensen can tell us that's him, then we can say, oh, okay, at least now we know. So that would be helpful. And you would think that Richard's unit would want to be helpful, right? You would think that the Army would want to be helpful. So this is a very important information. Then, of course, I didn't even mention right now, and I will do that. I will play that tomorrow, the video of Tavita Nusa, the special agent in the CID, leaking the files to Leilani Hart, who is the mother of First Lieutenant Dallas Hart. So this all needs to be investigated. We have everything. And that is just another shocking bit of this story. There's so many. And we'll be playing the videos and that to keep this alive, because I want to find out where Richard is and what happened to him. Okay, everyone, thank you so much. Sorry that so long, but it's just so important, and we really appreciate it. Thank you. God bless. And I didn't see if I got any questions. Let's see if I got any. Oh, there. Oh, I do. Okay, let's read them. I was actually kind of disturbed they take Taylor Swift ticket sales problem to a congressional hearing, but not an American missing soldier, Richard Halliday. What is wrong with this picture? Nothing against Taylor Swift, but come on, America. Oh, yeah. And the man from, I think he's from Louisiana, the representative, he was really brilliant about that. But they will take that to Congress, but they won't take Richard Halliday's case. Thank you for saying that. That is really brilliant, Danielle. Um, Agree, 100%. I think a lot of them people tripped and landed on their heads into a mole hole and got a lack of oxygen. Seriously, yeah, and they're well. This has to do with the military, and it has to do with well, of course, we want to know what part did Clem Coward, the two-star general, play in this because uh-oh, it went out. Okay, there it goes. What part did Clem Coward play in this? Because absolutely, um, he he's part of this. He's part of this, and we're talking about a two-star general. Okay, so they're covering. They're covering. Howdy from Texas Capitol. You should contact Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick. He helped Senator Cruz with his presidential campaign. Spoke to him today. Wow. Thank you, Deliris. Thank you so much. I hope that your trip there is, I hope your trip there is very helpful to you. Your computer skills are awesome. I don't even have a TikTok. Wow. Well, thank you so much. I'm trying to learn this, and now that I can answer questions, I'm really happy because that's a very, very important, or say statements like what you just said, because the you can tell that they are definitely shadow banning, cold casing, covering, whatever you want to say about Richard's case. And we have everything. We have, it's so big. It's so big. Why isn't the news saying, oh my gosh, the CID were leaking files about child sex trafficking, about um, child sex in the military? Um, wow. I would, can you imagine? Can you imagine? And the military never contacted the family when their son went missing. That's craziness. That's a big one. Oh my gosh, the four-star general James McConville that everyone thought was just suave and wonderful and great leader is a demon. He is a demon, and he's wearing our beautiful uniform with four stars on it, and he committed crimes against humanity and is you know sabotaging the search for our missing soldier that was a distinguished honor graduate in basic training for his cycle and AIT, advanced individual training. And how is he sabotaging it? He is setting up a staged task force find Richard Halliday. No op board, no uniform, not official at all, appointing two-star generals who are now three-star generals. They must have done a good job with the sabotage. They must have did a really good job with covering up the missing soldier that the FBI are said to have found in Juarez, Mexico, dead. Shh, shh. I mean, can you imagine the media covering this? A task force with no op board? Everybody in the military would absolutely know what, and being out of uniform, not one active duty Army person there was in uniform in the headquarters there at Fort Bliss with the FBI there, with Department of Homeland Security, with the Customs and Border Protectors, with the El Paso Police, with the, I mean, 15 plus agencies. This is, big, big deal. I mean, it's like going to Congress in your pajamas. It's unofficial. And, for the military, it's very important to be in uniform. And they're wearing our beautiful uniforms badly, badly. And then when it comes to something very important, they're not even putting them on. They're not even putting them on. This is really crazy. So we knew. It took a while for me, but we knew. Okay, everyone. Thank you so much. God bless you. I see. God bless you. And it's terrible that they're wearing our uniforms badly, but when something very important is going on, they don't even wear their uniforms. Oh, gosh. Okay. So thank you, everyone. I will be back tomorrow, God willing, and this is working. I think the transition is working. Okay, God bless.